My sister stole my wedding ring so she could pay for her honeymoon. Story time. So my sister and I never ever got along. She was always the golden child. She was the type of kid that would just constantly cry to my parents to get her own way. It was all learned behaviour because my parents spoiled her like there was no tomorrow. Growing up, I always hated the way she acted, but I tried to ignore it and just get on with my own life. So one day, my parents were both driving to work and they got into a really, really bad accident and we lost both our parents that day. This sounds awful, but I was kind of glad now that my sister was going to have no one there to spoil her. However, sure enough, she found someone else to leech off. She found a boyfriend. When she said jump, Steve said how high, and eventually they ended up getting engaged. Poor guy. And my sister had big plans for this wedding. I'm talking big budget, big dress, big flowers, the lot. They were topping it off with a honeymoon in Hawaii. However, with all the spending she'd been doing, Amy had run out of money. Who did she call to bail her out? 10 points if you guessed me. I do quite well, and my husband also has a very well-paid job. She came round the other week and asked if I would pay for her full honeymoon as her wedding present. And listen to flex, I could 100% afford it, but was I going to do it? No. There was absolutely no way I was doing that for her, not after the way she treated me and my parents growing up. This woman begged and pleaded, but there was no way I was giving in. So a few days later, I walk in the door and I just felt like something was off with the place. I realised that my ground floor window was open and I never opened that because next door neighbour's cat tries to get in. So I'm looking around just making sure like, oh, TV's still there. So when I saw that the lid on my jewellery box was open and there was quite a few things out of place. And on further inspection, this is when I realised that my wedding ring and my engagement ring are missing. And let's just say it did not take long to work out who the culprit of the theft was. Now, I wasn't about to confront her straight away. I wanted to get evidence. I was taking screenshots, photos, I even bought a fingerprint kit. Fingerprint kit is really hard to say. I used my little kit to test the area. All of this went on a week before her wedding. So a week later, I attend Amy's wedding without saying a word. Yeah, the wedding was really nice, but she spent a lot of money, so you'd kind of hope at that point that it would be nice. The next day, she gets on a flight to Hawaii, her dream honeymoon destination. But who was on the flight out afterwards? I was. So the first thing I did when I landed in Hawaii is get in touch with the police and gave them all the evidence I had collected. And they said, oh, do you know where she's staying? Like, where can we find her? I said, of course I do. Amy had told me everything. I knew the whole itinerary of this trip, so I made sure to arrive at this fancy restaurant about the same time as the police were. I sat in the corner of the restaurant like a little detective. I had my hat on, my sunglasses. I was taking all of the pics. Them having starters, them having mains, them getting arrested, them getting carted off in handcuffs. Honestly, it was a full album. And